Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here. This is a delayed review for the Doctor Who story, The Rescue. I only saw this a few days after the Dalek invasion of Earth. I think it was just one day, but it's been nearly 2 weeks. I think it's been, time of recording, it's been about 2 weeks, and I haven't even moved on to the next story, The Romans. And I've been a bit unwell, so that's why the reviews have been pushed back, and The Romans isn't really one I'm that eager to watch, though I know I have to watch that next. Oops, some stuff just fell on. But we'll get to The Romans in the next Doctor Who review. In this one's case, The Rescue. The Rescue is a nice little short story. 2 episodes. It's the last two-parter. The last two-parter until 1974, the Sontaran Experiment. And then you don't get another two-parter again until 1982 with Black Orchid. And then you get more two-parters in the 1980s. The 45-minute ones almost being the length of 4-parters, so one of those would be the length of a 2-parter, similar to New Who stories, with 45 to 50-minute episodes being the length of a 2-part 25-minute story. So The Rescue, for example, would be a similar length, almost a similar length to the Battle of Ranskoor Av Kalos, the last episode from Series 11, which is also the most recent at time of recording. So they're about a roughly similar time. So the story is that there is a crashed spaceship on a planet called Dido. There are two human survivors on the ship, a injured man and a young girl called Vicky. They are being played by a villain known as Karkilian, who is one of the creatures on the planet. He's the one who's keeping them safe from his people. And Vicky's trying to contact a spaceship, a rescue ship, to rescue them. However, it turns out that Karkilian is actually the injured man. He's faking it. He killed a man on the ship. Vicky didn't know about it. So the other crew decided to arrest him. So he decided to, when they landed on the planet, he decided to kill all the crew and all the people on the planet and make it just like it was just him and Vicky, who couldn't go because she had an illness. I think it was chickenpox, she said. Might be wrong. And he pretends to be Karkilian to, I don't know, keep up the charade that it was Karkilian's people who did it. The people actually seem to be humanoid, actual humanoid. Karkilian looks like a humanoid lizard creature, but the actual people of Dido look like humans. So some of them actually pop up at the end to kill him at the end and save the Doctor and take him out. Yeah, that's basically the plot. And also the Doctor, Barbara and Ian are around just after Susan's left. They're just taking it a bit easier, and they eventually bump into Vicky, and eventually at the end they take her away. It's just short and sweet. There's not really much in here. It's a nice little adventure. It's something if you want to watch for 50 minutes and you don't want to put a new series story on, and you don't really you prefer this to Edge of Destruction. I think Edge of Destruction's a better story, but if you want something a bit more simple, then The Rescue will be fine, as it's not very complicated. It's actually pretty obvious that Karkilian is the other guy, but at the same time, it's still interesting and entertaining. It's not going to win any awards for greatest story ever, but it's okay. It's decent. It's watchable, and you might enjoy it. So it's nothing special though, and I'll give it that. And yeah, it could be seen as a waste of time, but it's all right. It's well done. So I applaud him for doing a good filler story, like with Edge of Destruction. So I'm going to give The Rescue a 7 out of 10. I don't think it's particularly special, I don't think it's particularly brilliant, but it's not bad, it's okay. It's a nice bit of filler, and it's a good way to introduce Vicky, who is a very good companion She's probably the best companion, certainly best female companion this side of the 60s. The Hartnell era anyway, and one of the best of his companions. So that's The Rescue, a nice little story. Nice, short, and enjoyable. The next story, on the other hand, was, for a bit of a period of time, my least favourite Doctor Who story of all time, but then it went up a bit on a rewatch when I got the DVD. But I still don't really hold it in that high regard, and that's another reason why I'm not particularly worried about seeing it again, and why I've been putting it off a little bit. But it's the next one to watch, and I'll have to do it sooner rather than later in order to carry on these videos and get to the next couple stories, which are better. At least for the rest of Season 2 stuff are, anyway. So next time, when I get round to it, we will be looking at the Romans. Well, you're not going to be a rant. I can tell you that. You will not be a 0 or 1 out of 10. You're not going to be lower than a 5. Or at least, going by the last time's viewings, next time it might be different. But as of last time viewing thoughts, you won't be anything lower than a 5 out of 10, and you won't be a rant. So you think that you're not the worst. You are not the worst. That award's gone to the Space Pirates, which we'll get to when we come to the end of Season 6. But you're still not held in very high regard, and we're going to see how it turns out in the next viewing when I do the review. So when I do the review of the Romans, we'll see how my opinions of the story in the most recent viewing of when I do that review, which will be the next viewing at the time of this one's recording, turns out. We'll see how that happens. So anyway, thank you for watching my review of The Rescue. Next time we'll be looking at the Romans, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne Retro YouTube channel. Oh, I have to charge this one when we go downstairs. And also the Doctor, Barbara, and Susan, not Susan. Excuse me. So I'm going to give The Rescue a ace. So that's The Rescue. That was a nice little story. I haven't even eaten dinner yet. This is all from lunch. Well, at least you're not going to be a